Welcome to The Car Flip Show. My name's Justin. I was a part-time flipper turned full-time used car dealer. This show is all about teaching you how to buy and sell cars for profit. Thanks so much for listening. Let's get into the episode. Welcome to episode 10 of The Car Flip Show. Thanks so much for being along for the ride today. We've got a few different topics to look at today. One of which is a turkey baster and why you potentially should have one in your toolbox. I do. I'm going to show you mine, or at least let you hear about it and let you know some possible uses for the turkey baster. So maybe raid your kitchen or maybe buy one on Amazon. That's where I got mine. So we're going to talk about why you could potentially need a turkey baster in your toolbox, as well as a few questions that I have lined up. This actual podcast is being recorded live. If you're a member of our Car Flip Facebook group, the Car Flip Facebook group. It's a free group. It's about 3,000 people in it currently. If you're not a member of that, head over to thecarflip.com. If you put your email address in there, you will be sent a thank you for registering email, and you can then sign up from the link that we're going to send you there. There'll be a link in that thank you email where you can be a part of the group, and you'll be able to be a part of things like this. So those that are watching this live can post questions. We can get to those later, but I've got a few questions lined up to begin with. But before we get into all of that, I wanted to mention one quick thing. If you're listening to this as it comes out, which will be on Friday morning, and I'm not sure on the date, it would be May the 26th, maybe, possibly 25th, I believe is what that's going to be. There is actually a drawing that's going to be for a Google Home Mini. Right now we're in the launch phase of our The Car Flip course. This is a course that if you are new to flipping, if you kind of think it's something you think could be for you, you've seen people do it, you just don't have the confidence to get in there because you don't know, the ins and outs of the business. This is me downloading everything from my brain that I can think of that has to do with flipping, my exact process. Everything that I know about flipping is in this course, and more things are added daily. As people have other questions, we can add things. It's a living course, so it's not, completely set in stone. If you have a question, we can always add modules, but this is a course that walks you through my exact process in depth. We have live monthly calls. There's a private community. So our Facebook group is 3,000 people. If you post a question in there, a lot of times I miss it because I'm only one person. There's a private group associated with this so I can make sure to see your questions. So what this live drawing is for this Google Home Mini, if you sign up, like if you were going to sign up for the course anyway, go ahead and do it before Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern time, because there will be a drawing. One person that signs up for the course will win the Google Home Mini. I'll mail it to you personally. So hopefully one of you win that. Good luck on that. So today we have a few questions to look at, along with any other questions that may come in on the live feed. So if you guys have any questions that are watching live, be sure to throw in a question and I'll answer it towards the end of the show. But the first question we're going to look at is, and this is actually one that I saw inside the Facebook group. It was from Angelo. So Angelo, if you're seeing this, some other people responded. I'm just going to give you my take. He said, how do you deal with your market being dry? So you're scanning for deals. Maybe you found a few in the past. Maybe Facebook Marketplace is your go-to, which I think is what he was mentioning. There are no deals on Facebook Marketplace. What do I do? And this happens from time to time. One thing is you don't want to just be set on one particular source. So if Facebook Marketplace is your go-to and the deals are completely dry there, I'm sure, Angela, you looked at other places. So definitely continue to scan Craigslist, continue to scan Letgo, continue to scan OfferUp. Be scouring for deals everywhere you go. But if that still is not working, you've got to be consistent with your offers. Sometimes when there's nothing out there, some people tell me, there's just no good deals in my area. And just for fun, I'll say, well, where are you at? And I'll go to their Craigslist. Every Craigslist has a beginning city at the beginning. So for me, it's Raleigh.Craigslist.org. So I go to their area, I scan for 5 minutes, and I find 3 or 4 deals that are good potential deals. They just aren't recognizing them because they haven't learned their market and they don't know every single car. They're just looking for specific cars. There are generally always deals available. It's just a matter of if you see them first. For example, if a deal posts at 2:30 in the afternoon and you're at work and someone sees it before you, the car sells and it's off Craigslist by 5:30, you never see it. So always be scanning. For me, on my phone, I have a saved search set up for my area and then 4 other areas around me that are within about an hour drive. So if I'm interested in Jeep Wranglers, for example, I do a lot of those, I would click my Jeep Wrangler save search for each area. For me, it's Raleigh. I've got one for Fayetteville, North Carolina, one for Wilmington, North Carolina, one for Greensboro, and then I think one for Jacksonville, and maybe one for Eastern North Carolina. So some of those are a little further than an hour, but I just click through. It takes 5 minutes. I can see what I've already looked at, so I'm only looking at the ones at the top of the search there. So it's a quick 5-minute thing. You can do it on your way to the bathroom. You can do it while you're in the while you're in the car, at a red light, while you're not driving. So don't do it while you're driving. But if you're stuck in traffic, it's something you can scan really quick. You can see what's there. You can see what's not. And that way you can at least see what's there, and you're not missing potential deals, because the really good deals don't last long. Being the first offer on an amazing deal is the only way sometimes to get them, because there are other people in your area that are flipping cars. It's very competitive, but if you can find the deals first, that's going to be a major plus. A couple other things that I just jotted down really quickly were: keep making offers. So if no deals are presenting themselves, sometimes you have to create the deals. Sometimes people are posting their cars for what they're worth, and we can't fault them for that. We can't fault somebody for actually knowing what their car is worth. And in a perfect world, right, everyone has priced their vehicles too low. We get the amazing deal, and then we sell it for what it's worth, but that's not always the case. So sometimes if you can really understand a market, maybe it's Chevrolet Trailblazers, or maybe it's Jeep Wranglers, or maybe it's Toyota Camrys. If you understand the market and you're going through and offering at the price that you need to buy to make the profit margin that you would like, for me it's $2,000. So if they're asking 65, someone asking 45, someone's asking 55, and you're offering 25, 35, 45 at those price points, most people are going to say no, but every now and then someone's going to say yes. Someone needs the cash. I actually just had a guy come in this morning that bought a vehicle from me about a month ago. It was a 2005 Chrysler 300. Pretty nice vehicle. It was leather, had heated seats, has 22-inch chrome wheels, which isn't my style, but a lot of people like that. I was asking $4,950. He had a trade-in, so I came down to $4,400 on the price. I gave him $2,400 for his trade-in, which was a 2005 Audi A4 Quattro. I don't understand his thinking, because his car was worth the same amount as mine was, so he gave me a car of equal value, and he gave me $2,000 cash. And so I was happy. I sold his car for $4,000 in like a week. It was a pretty easy sale. So I made $1,600, just real quick money. He actually came back the beginning part of this week, and he's got to move out of town unexpectedly. He's moving to New York. I don't exactly know the story behind it, but he says, hey, I got to sell the car this week. He came in today, and the car had to be sold by tomorrow. And he says, hey, I need the cash. Like, what can you do? And I didn't want to make a crazy lowball offer. Like, I sold it to him for $4,400. And I said, well, I could probably give you the same amount for this car that I gave you for the other car, which was $2,400. He came in and he'd actually lost the wheel lock. The 22s had some special lug nuts so no one would steal them. And he lost it. I wouldn't be able to change the wheels off. If I'm going to sell it, I want to have the wheel lock with it. So I was able to negotiate him down another $400. So I gave him $2,000 cash today for this car that he paid $4,400. But for him, this was the best thing that could have ever happened. He had to leave, not tomorrow, he had to leave on Saturday. The car had to be sold by tomorrow, or else it's going to be stuck here. He's moving to New York. This is going to be a permanent thing for him. He has no way to transport it. He has nothing. He just couldn't have this extra car. For him, I did him a huge favor by handing him $2,000 cash today. There are a lot of people out there that have a car listed at a set price, but they would love it if they could just have cash in their hand. They're ready to be rid of it. They're tired of people coming and kicking their tires. If you make that offer, some people will be offended. Some people will send you a few four-letter words attached to their decline of your offer. But every now and then someone says, if you come and bring cash today, sure, I'll take it. You got to, or sometimes you have to make deals when you can't find deals. So, that don't let up and always be learning. That's the third thing that I wrote down. You probably understand, I'm talking to Angela here, you probably understand the cars that you know very well. So for me, if a Jeep Wrangler pops up, I know like that. That's a good deal, or that's not. Or if they have one that's posted for 8, I need to be in that for 55 to make the money I want to make. Those cars for you, whatever they are, you know them, but always be learning new cars. If the cars that you're used to buying aren't available, venture out. I'm a big fan of flipping the same car over and over and over again. For me, in the past, when I first started flipping as a teenager, Pontiac Grand Prix, those are my go-to. I mean, I love me a Pontiac Grand Prix. The supercharged ones were a lot of fun. I just liked them, and I still, as I see them riding on the road, there's an affinity for those that I have. But it was Grand Prix, then it was Trailblazers, and then it was minivans, right? I mean, who wants a minivan? But I sold them really well. Then it was Mustangs, convertible Mustangs, then it was convertible Eclipses, and then it was pickup trucks, and then it was Wranglers, and it's been something. But as I change from car to car, If I see a Pontiac Grand Prix today, I know pretty much any issue they're going to have because I did so many of them. Like, you know that the window motors are horrible on them. There's just certain things that are known for certain cars. And as you become experts on those cars, the more that you flip them, the more that you know when you see them like that. You know a deal. And continue to learn other vehicles so that you don't just get stuck and pigeonholed into only knowing and dealing in one car, so that the deals are more available because you're an expert on more of those vehicles. So my 3 recommendations would be: make more offers. Don't let up. Sometimes when there aren't any deals, we get discouraged and we just stop scanning. That's probably when the deal you were looking for popped up. And then always be learning. Don't get stuck or pigeonholed into one car. Be able to expand your horizons and be able to find more vehicles there or that way. So that would be my answer to you, Angelo. Just focus in, make more offers, and always be learning. So the next question we're going to look at is, what do you do when something goes wrong with a vehicle after the sale? Now, this was an email that I received. He was asking from a dealership standpoint. I think he was in the beginning stages of starting a dealership, and he wanted to know if I offered warranties or if I sold them as is. What do I do when someone comes back? For me, there is not a warranty implied when someone's purchased the vehicle. This is something I've toyed with. I've gone back and forth. At times, I have offered a 90-day, 4,500 mile warranty. It only costs between $90 and $100 for me to pay for that for someone. And I've gone back and forth just gauging whether I think that has affected purchases or whether it hasn't. I really haven't been able to tell a whole lot. For me, what I do now is in every windshield of the cars that I have for sale. So on the dash, there's a form that's laying there. It's called a buyer's guide. In North Carolina and most states that I'm aware of, you're required to disclose whether there is a warranty or whether there isn't a warranty. In North Carolina, as a dealer, you're required to have that somewhere visible on every single car that's for sale in your lot. Now, as a private seller, if you're just flipping on the side, this doesn't matter to you, this does not apply. But as a dealer, I have to disclose whether there's a warranty or whether there's not. So the box checked on all of mine is as is, so no warranty. If someone were to be looking at the car and I could tell that there was a hesitancy or they were interested, but they were kind of on the fence, and we're talking about a vehicle and they say, well, is there any warranty? And I could tell they're on the fence, it's my option to say, you know what, for you, I'll put a 90-day, 4,500 mile warranty. So for that person, they're not looking at something and saying, okay, this is included, this comes on every vehicle. I'm doing something special for them. I'm saying, I'm gonna go over and above for you. I'm gonna pay for this out of my own pocket. They don't know that it's only 90 to 100 bucks for the vehicle. And, in their mind, this is $150, $200 warranty that I'm paying for them. Retail, that's what it would cost them anyway. So that's the way I'm approaching it right now. It may change in the future. In dealing with these warranty companies, the downside to giving someone a warranty at times is, someone comes in, oh, that car has a warranty, great, I'll take it. They have a check engine light that pops on 3 weeks later. They come back and they expect that you're going to fix the oxygen sensor that has gone bad on their vehicle because it's under warranty. Now, most warranties, pretty much all the ones that I would sell, don't cover that. They're powertrain warranties. The $90 to $100 warranty for the 3 months, 3,000 miles or 4,500 miles will only cover the powertrain, which is the engine, transmission. Sometimes they'll cover the transfer case and the drive axle, so the CV joints. An oxygen sensor, an AC compressor, a bad wheel bearing, those things aren't covered. But when you mention warranty, some people get the idea that it covers everything. Now, that's up to you to explain ahead of time, to explain what it covers. When I mention that to someone, I would say, now this is a powertrain warranty. It covers most of the expensive parts. So if your engine goes bad, if your transmission goes bad, those are the, basically drain your bank account fixes. It covers those things. Now, some warranty companies are easier to deal with when you actually have to file a claim. I just had a Chevrolet Traverse that had a bad engine, which was a nightmare because the customer brought it back. Initially, we thought it was a starter. It wasn't the starter, the engine was locked up. So we let the warranty company know, hey, we got a bad engine, the engine's locked, we can't turn it manually without the crank. And they said, okay, we need a picture proving that. And I'm thinking, are you kidding me? I've got to drop the whole engine, pull the engine apart, take a picture of something, and we already know the engine's bad. So we had to do all of that just to get the claim filed. It was a major headache. I had a mechanic doing that for me. So it's just that you're doing all that work, hoping everything's going to go through. It did. I didn't make any money on it, obviously, because it's a warranty covering that. They only paid $60 labor per hour. Most shops charge more than that. So I have a mechanic on staff. That obviously offset that for me. They did provide the engine. The engine that we got had a few things that were damaged. There was nothing we could do there. We just had to take care of, like the oil tube was bent and broken off. The water pump on it wasn't any good that came with it, so we had to buy a new water pump. So a few things there cost me out of pocket, but offering a warranty can give someone peace of mind, but there are a few headaches that come along with that. So it's kind of a tit for tat thing. For me, I play it by ear and do it on a customer by customer basis there. So hopefully that helps as you're considering which way to go on that. One thing I would recommend, if you're doing it from a dealership standpoint, there is something called a good faith form. For us, we keep this on file. If someone does come in, they do have the oxygen sensor light that comes on. I look on Amazon, I can buy it for 23 bucks. I say, you know what? I'm gonna get this part ordered for you. If you can come back in 3 days, we will take care of that for you. This is on a case-by-case basis. I don't do this for everyone, and I'm talking, not to the customer, I'm talking to you guys right now. I don't do this for everyone, but for that person, I would make them fill out this good faith form, because if I have sold the vehicle as is without a warranty and I fix something, by law in certain states, I could be, in North Carolina being one of them, I could be implying a warranty because I repaired something, there wasn't a warranty. By the law, I'm potentially implying a warranty. There have been cases that when people have gone back for another issue, so that person comes in, they have the oxygen sensor, I fix it, glad I could help. They come back 2 months later, my water pump went out, and I say, well, it's been 2 months, I fixed the oxygen sensor, I can't do anything else. And they say, oh no, I thought I had a warranty. And you say, no, you didn't have a warranty. The form says as is right here. If they were to go and get a lawyer under certain circumstances, if they could prove that I replaced that oxygen sensor, the vehicle was sold as is. There have been cases in North Carolina where people have been basically by law mandated to repair every single issue that the person has in the future because they implied an indefinite warranty. So that's not something you want to get yourself into. Definitely use the good faith form. There are several versions online you can check out. I use a pretty basic one. Basically, they're just acknowledging this does not imply a warranty. We're fixing this, in good faith, just taking care of it because we're nice people, basically. So if you're a dealer, check out that good faith form. It can be very helpful for you. Now, in this situation as a flipper, if you're not doing this full-time as a used car dealer, someone calls and says, hey, I had a check engine light come on. This isn't something you really should even be concerned about. It's not your job to fix their problem. You're not an advertised business. You don't have to worry about reviews. It's their problem. It's their vehicle. A lot of used car dealerships even operate that way. From time to time, depending on the issue, I would even operate that way. Maybe they have a problem and I would offer to fix it if they're paying for it because I do have a mechanic, or maybe I can offer a discounted rate that is padded so that I can actually still make money to cover myself in the parts. But if someone buys your vehicle, you're selling as a private seller, if you're flipping on the side, and they call and say, hey, my alternator went out, what are you gonna do about it? You'd say, well, it's a used vehicle. I didn't have any problems with it. There's no way I could have told that. Man, I really hate that's happened, but I can't cover it. I gave you a good deal on it already. That's the way I would respond. What you don't want to say is pound sand, get them offended, get them upset where they go, and they would seek someone to, seek a lawyer, because even if they did, you're not liable. My brother-in-law sold, I think, an older Honda Accord one time. A lady had an issue. She told him she was going to take him to small claims court because I think it actually was her alternator that went bad. Nothing ever came of it. There's not anything that they can do. It's a vehicle that's sold as is. You shouldn't have any trouble, but I would generally be nice. I would be kind. I wouldn't, get out after somebody and just tell them they're stupid because they're calling you. I would say, I'm so sorry to hear that. I had no idea. There's no way I could have known. You got a great deal on the car. You should probably check with a mechanic about that because they're going to be the ones that are going to be able to help you. It's not mine anymore because you bought it, so you're going to need to take care of it. That's how I would respond as a flipper outside of a dealership standpoint. And from time to time, if I give someone a crazy good deal, they've talked me way down on price, they come back and I'd say, you know what, I don't have any room left. Like, I can't fix that because I came down $1,500 on the price. So there's different ways that you can respond as a dealer. As a private seller, I can't think of an instance really where you would ever repair anything after the fact because it's their vehicle. They own it, you don't. That's how I would respond in that situation. So a question I get asked a ton is, what should I pay for fill in the blank? That's a really common thought, especially with people that are just starting out. They're not confident in understanding and knowing exactly what they need to pay for the vehicles that they're looking at. If you ever bought a house, I just compare it to that. You get comps. So if you're looking at a house in a neighborhood, let's see what the house 3 doors down sold for 2 years ago. Let's check out what the one across the street sold for. We're going to look at a lot of different comps and compare those houses to the house that you're looking to buy. It's actually a lot easier with cars because with houses, there's different size bedrooms, there's different size lots, there's different locations, different neighborhoods sell, and different price points in the one across the street because they're, there's something more, lustrous about that. Is lustrous a word? I'm not sure. It sounds fancy. But with a car, a 2003 Chevrolet Silverado is about the same as the other Silverado down the street. Where it's located or fill in the blank, doesn't really matter. Now mileage plays a point. Different packages. Is it an LT? Is it an LTZ? Is it just the base model LS? Those all play into it. But if you can compare your vehicle with other similar vehicles that are listed for sale, because anyone else that's looking to buy the vehicle that you're looking at is going to be looking at all those other vehicles to compare your vehicle to anyway. So you might as well go ahead and do it up front. That's how you're going to tell what your vehicle's worth. Sites like Car Gurus, that one will actually give you a pretty good breakdown of what local vehicles are selling for. I don't like it as much from a selling standpoint because it tells the person exactly how long your vehicle's been posted. So if you have one that just isn't selling well and someone gets up there and sees that you've had it for sale for 76 days, they think, what's wrong with this car? But it's great from the buyer's perspective, but it lists how good a deal is. So you can get up there and see, I'm looking at this 2008 Chevy HHR. I think it's worth $4,500, and you get up there and comps to your vehicle are selling for 28, 32, 31. You're overshooting it. You can't pay as much as you wanted to, and that's going to adjust your purchase price. So compare comps. For me, my go-to first is Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. I'll then reference the others just to see, but those are what other people are going to look at to compare your vehicle to anyway. That's how you're going to establish what you need to pay for the vehicle, is similar vehicles in your area. So those are the 3 questions we'll look at today. Otherwise, I want to tell you about the Turkey Baster and why you should have one. So I'm actually going to pull one out. You're going to hear it crinkle a little bit because it's actually in the package still. So this Turkey Baster is pretty straightforward. If you've never used a Turkey Baster, it's pretty simple. I'm going to try to explain this because we're audio on this podcast. It's like what do we got? If you got a gear shifter, if you can imagine grabbing a gear shifter, but the gear shifter was flexible. I don't know, that's probably a horrible definition. It's like one of those things you stuck up your kid's nose and you pull out the boogers. That's how I would describe it, I think. It squeezes like that, but it's got about an 8-inch little nozzle on it, and it gets really small at the front. The purpose of a Turkey Baster is to suck something in and then squirt it inside the turkey. We don't want to cook with it. We don't care about the turkey, but we like the functionality of it because if you've ever run into something like, say, a power steering fluid reservoir or a brake fluid reservoir, maybe you overfill the brake fluid reservoir and you want to get some of it out. Now, you could just grab a towel, you could just grab some paper towels, stick in there, let it soak it up, and then drop that off. But like a power steering pump, if you potentially had one that was squeaking or making some noise and you're thinking, I'd like to put some Lucas, I think it's called Power Steering Fix is the name of the power steering version. Actually a very good product. I've had really good results with it. There actually was a warranty if you ever deal with the Lucas power steering product. If you have a leaking power steering system, if you put 2 bottles in, on the side of the bottle it actually tells you that if you do that and you still have a leak, they'll refund your purchase for those 2 bottles. So something I didn't know until too long ago, but that is on the bottle, so you could give it a shot, see how that works out for you. But to put the Lucas in, you don't just want to pour just a little bit in, you want to pour a lot of it in so it can get in the system. For that, you'll need to remove some, and you might think, well, I'll just dump it out. You don't really want to take the reservoir off just to do that, so you want to suck it out. So I'm going to use an example. I don't know if we'll be able to hear this or not, but we've got a cup of water here, and then I've got my Turkey Baster. The principle of this is you push in on the squishy part of the Turkey Baster. It creates a suction that's going to suck the water up, and we probably can't hear that. So I've sucked up, I think this is in ounces, I've sucked up 1.5 ounces, it tells me that. And then I'm going to take this water, and I'm going to squirt it into, well, I dropped my bottle. I'm going to squirt it back into the cup that I poured it out of it from. So I don't know if you can hear that, but that's that. So the principle of this is we would suck out the power steering fluid, then we'd put it back. We wouldn't put it back, we'd put it over in a different container, and then we would install, maybe it's our Lucas power steering fluid, maybe we overfilled our brake fluid reservoir, which people do from time to time. Turkey Baster is very handy because when you walk up there and you're thinking, I just need to get this out, it's difficult, I don't want to buy some big expensive tool. This was like $4 on Amazon. We'll put a link in the show notes if you want to check it out. But otherwise, you could just raid your wife's tool drawer in her kitchen, although I am not liable for the repercussions of said deed. But the turkey baster, very handy to have. If you don't need it, great, but that one time you actually need something to do that, it's very handy to reach in and grab your handy dandy turkey baster. So that is the car flip show for today. Thanks so much for watching and being along for it. If you have any questions on anything you heard today, now I'm not going to give any other cooking advice other than my turkey baster. So if it's cooking advice, I'm out, unless it's about the turkey baster. So you guys have a great rest of the day. Check out thecarflipcourse.com if you are interested. That way you can be entered in the drawing for the Google Home Mini. That's only until, if you're watching this or listening to this live, the Friday this comes out, until 5 p.m. Eastern time. Otherwise, I will see you guys next week in episode 11.